Happy almost 2024, everyone. We are doing a reset, and this is going to be a very fun budget to get everything reset and going for 2024. So excited. Happy almost 2024. This is what I do on a yearly basis to see if we can have some fun and to see what our expenses and what our budget did last year to propel us into the next year and see how we can make some improvements, but relax, grab a cup of coffee or some water like I'm having to stay hydrated, and let's just have some fun with some budgeting. And if you are new here, please say hi down in the comments and please let me know below what you are going to do for 2024. This is a zero-based budget, which means we zero out every single paycheck. And I also have some tips, finance tips, budget tips, savings tips. This is a budget with me. I do invest with me as well. So if you want to learn a little bit about budgeting, a little bit about investing, you've come to the right channel. Also, I do a lot of Ramit Sethi from I Will Teach You to Be Rich. I do his conscious spending plan, but I do it a little bit of a mesh with Dave Ramsey. So we're not really following one set of rules. It's just something that works for me personally, and finance is personal. So this is just works for me. It might work for you. You might want to swap out some other things, but it'll be fun in general to see where the money will take us. So we are trying to get wealthy in 2024. I'm going to show you how I plan to do that and my roadmap. So let's get into it. So first things first, we are going to start out with our paycheck, and my paycheck is $700 for the end of the year. And we are just going to reflect a little bit of what went well, what didn't go well. So make sure that you're putting that into your 2023. So end of year 2023, I ended up not going to school anymore, so I have the student loans that I paid off, so we don't need to use those anymore. I was in school for finance and accounting. I may resume that later, but I'm not doing that this semester. Probably not going to do that next semester as well. I'm not saying that the student loans didn't really help me, but yeah, it was a little bit of money for, well, I have to say that I did get a good financial education. So I'm happy about that. No regrets, right? But we are not taking that into 2024 with us. Next. So what Ramit Sethi teaches is a spending plan. And what I basically did, which I don't know if this is common or not, but I'm very much a saver. I do not like to spend money. I like to, save it for a rainy day, but I am aware that that's very much a guilty and scarcity mindset. I have been in starvation and scarcity mode for way too long, so I am trying to get out of this scarcity mindset. We are not going to take that with us in 2024, but it was still there. I tried to take some leaps and bounds into going into a better abundance mindset. So, we did take a few steps towards that, but I have to say this area needs a lot of work. And then in 2023, I did notice that most of my expenses went to medical because I did have a root canal. So depending on what you spent your money on, what you spent most of your money on last year, you might want to allocate differently into your envelopes, maybe make medical $100 instead of $50, and then subtract $50 from something you found last year you didn't necessarily need. So the end of the year, it teaches us something. It says, what do we prioritize in our life? And I definitely prioritize health in my life. But you could prioritize anything in your life, and that would be fine. If you do prefer to have a healthy mindset or a wealthy mindset or whatever you prefer, it's totally fine. Just make sure that that is aligned with your allocations and your percentages. And then I did end up maxing out my retirement fund. So I'm going to share with you how I'm going to do that, because that is going to be a new envelope for this year, which I'm so excited about. So I did max out my Roth IRA. I'll tell you all about that in this one. So this is basically a rough review of how 2023 went. These are the big priorities for me. So now we're going to go into 2024, and you can do this before planning out your budget with me and planning out your budget for the year. It's just like a quick recap of what went down in 2023. So now we're going to talk about how to improve 2024. And what I want you to think about is, how can your life change in 2024? Who do you want to be? Embody who you want to be right now and make that person your identity. So just think, what goals do you want for 2024? How are you going to achieve them? What type of person already has these goals that you want to embody? So for 2024, I would like to max out my retirement fund again. The retirement fund is called a Roth IRA, and we are going to add a new envelope. I'm so excited. To 2024. It's called a Roth IRA. It is tax-free for your retirement account. This is super important because it saves thousands of dollars if you do this. You need to add the money in there and then invest in something like SPY or VOO, which is the S&P 500, basically a basket of 500 companies. Just keep it in there until retirement. You will be very happy with that. What I like to do is put 5 to 10% of my paycheck every week into this. You have until April 15th of 2025 to max this out. So it's not until January 1st, it's until April 25th. So yay, a little bit more time for those of you who procrastinate like me. Yay. But I was actually early this year, so I was a little excited for that, sprinkle, sprinkle. So we need to start this early because we need to be best friends with our future self, and our future self is wealthy. So we are identifying as a wealthy person, which means we are maxing out our retirement fund, and we are doing that first. All it takes is 5 to 10% of our paycheck. I know that may be a lot for some people. Do as much as you can. If it's $1 here and there, you just want to create a consistent habit for yourself. The limit for the Roth IRA this year is $7,000. Now, I see a lot on social media that's like, oh, well, if the government caps it or makes a maximum for it, that's only $7,000. It must be very powerful. And you know what? I agree with them. It is. It's a very powerful method of gaining wealth tax-free. So let's take advantage of it. Let's max it out. It's one of the goals for this year is to max out our retirement fund, which is $7,000, which means weekly we need to put $135 into it. And I will let you know how I do this because it's a little bit different than what everyone else is saying. It might help you, it might not help you. Second, the student loans. Let's see, where's that envelope? Have the student loans. They are completely paid off, and I am not going back next semester. I did learn a lot, but it's not something I can afford right now. We need to be realistic, and this is just not something that I can realistically afford right now. So that is not going in there. I'm, of course, going to listen to a lot of podcasts. So on my 2024 goals, I have to read 100 books and or listen to 100 podcasts on financial wealth. Now, these can be books that I've already read, like Psychology of Money, Die with Zero, One Up on Wall Street. They're some of my absolute favorites. And let me know in the comments what your favorite finance book is. I would love to read it. I am a bookworm, so give me a book to read. I will read it in a weekend. And then we can, chat about that book. It'll be a fun time. So instead of going to school for it, I am going to listen to podcasts and read for right now. This just means I'm pausing it. It doesn't mean, that I'm not taking care of it. Okay, so medical was one of my very big expenses, and I want to keep my health and medical very high because for me, health is the most important thing. So I had medical at $50, but I want to take it to $100. So we need to figure out something to be less than $50. So those are my major goals for 2024 as far as my budget is concerned. So now we're going to turn over to our paycheck and reset it for the year for all of my sinking funds and all of my envelopes so you can see specifically what I do and how I'm going to achieve these overall goals. Let's go. So we are starting off with our paycheck with $700. You will see all of this princess money because we are in New York City and we are not trying to get burgled, okay? Okay, 20, 40, 60, 80. That is $1. 100, 200. You know what? 300. We will do 350s. She's so cute. I love her. Okay, I think that's enough for 50s. Let's do 2 100s. And that will be 5, 6, and then let's see. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, they are all in my envelope, so we may need to take some of the money out of the envelopes as well. But for now, 70, 80, 90, 100. Just for now, and if we find some ones and find some more fives, that would be fantastic if that happens. Universe, please let that happen. So we have 700 right now. I'm going to show you what we do for the budget reset to go over all of our envelopes and what's going out with the old 2023 buy and going in with the new 2024. So how I like to set this up is I like to start out with number 1, which is like the basic survival needs. So I like to do groceries, and groceries are going to be over here. Oh, there are some. Okay. So I do have a little bit of this. It's already okay, so all of my envelopes are zeroed out already because it is the new year. So we are just going to be starting all over again, which I'm very happy about. I'm just going to put 2024 and we're going to put 100 in for groceries. Groceries normally cost me $70. So we are just going to keep that in there and we're going to go with 100. So during the first week in everything, and I think groceries should stay at 70 per week. At the beginning of every month, what I like to do personally is I like to go over my basics to make sure that we have all of our basics covered, all of our bases covered. So that includes groceries. I like to do a little bit more of the basics. So, your needs and your survivals, like your groceries, your housing, and, the lights and utilities. So we like to start out with groceries. And even though it is $70, we like to put in a little bit more on week 1 and week 2, just so we can cover all of that. Now, I know a lot of people say, you need to invest first and you need to do that. And that is great for them. But for my own peace of mind, I like to do the basics first, just to make sure we have that out of the way and we have enough for each month. Okay, and maintenance is going to be 400 for the, okay. It's going to be 400. So what I like to do is put in 200 for the first week, because we are going to start 200 for the first week because we are going to start 2024 off with a bang. So 2024. $200. I'm so excited for this year. I'm so excited for 2024. Leave something in the comments letting me know if you're excited for 2024, how you expect to make it different, how you expect to be a little bit more joyful, a little bit healthier, a little bit wealthier. Let me know. Utilities next. So utilities is another basic, and this is going to be 100. Going to put 100 into here. The money is going really quickly, which is not amazing, but hey, chronic saver here, so that's all right. We have 100. Perfect. The next thing is transportation. Transportation is about, for me, 120 per month. So we're going to do, let's put in 40. It's very interesting because in New York City, let's see, 2040. Thank you, Princess. In New York City, it's kind of interesting because a lot of people take the subway, and I've seen so many people just jump and not pay for it or open the doors, and I'm just I'm oh, I'm a law-abiding citizen, okay. But then I'm well, I'd rather have the transportation work efficiently, and if it takes me paying that off, that's fine. So for 2024 for housing, we're going to put in 20. Now this is toiletries, toilet paper, things like that. So we're going to do 20. And we're just, refreshing, restarting. What are you restarting? Because my house, I am trying to be a clean and organized person. Sometimes that does not happen. So let me know what you're trying to work on, so maybe I don't feel as bad, because sometimes I just scatter things all over the place because I get up at 4 and don't leave the office until 7 sometimes. So it's kind of work is kind of takes a lot out of me. Okay, and then we have the bills. We're going to do another $100 for bills. Phone bills, any type of bills I just put in here. I have a bigger itemized list of that. And then the second category, that was the first category. The second category is going to be things that I do feel are very important, but it's not a necessity right now. So medical would be the root canal I got, or any doctor's visits or anything like that, because it's still incredibly important to me. But I do need to get the basics out first. So we are starting over. We're going to put 40 into this. And this is just the total on the right hand side. So we only have 40 for that. As I said, I used that as a root canal for last year, but this can also be a gym membership or something like that. Thankfully, I have a gym down at the basement of my apartment, so we are good with that. And then here comes the Roth IRA. So we are going to put $20 into this one just to get it started. And hopefully during week 3 and 4, we'll have a little bit more money to put into this. Category 3 is our things that Ramit Sethi likes to call guilt-free spending. So basically he has fixed cost and then non-fixed costs. And I really like that. He definitely helps me to not feel guilty about spending. I'm not there yet, Ramit. I'm not there. Let me know in the comments if you're a spender or you're a saver. I don't know why. I just can't get out of that mindset. It's just no, don't spend anything. And I'm okay, but I like clothes and I like eating healthy. But anyway, that's my little rant. Okay, so number 3 is our guilt-free spending. Ramit basically says to spend on things that you love and to cut mercilessly on things you don't love. So ballet, it's something I love. I don't see in the foreseeable future me being able to pay for this. So I'm just going to work out at home and work out at the gym. So we're not going to take this in 2024 with us. I love ballet. It's just not in the cards right now. Okay, so the gym, we're taking that out as well because, again, it's in the basement. I did have a gym membership that was Planet Fitness because, sometimes I like to have some machines and everything, but it's fine. I can just do it at home. So miscellaneous. I am not going to put anything in here. I was about to. You saw that. I was about to. Not going to put anything in here until week 3 or week 4 because I don't really have anything that I need to put in here. Buffer. This is super important. I was reading Psychology of Money and he was basically saying like, you don't know who you're going to be in 20 years. You're not going to have the same goals. You're not going to be the same person. And if you don't have a buffer or an envelope for unexpected expenses or anything that life is going to throw at you, because the only thing you can expect from life is that it will change, you just need to be prepared for it. So this is super important to just have a buffer for unexpected expenses and also to have an emergency fund. I have a fully funded emergency fund. But if you do not have one, you need to start an envelope. It needs to be at least 1 month of expenses. So I'm starting the buffer. I'm going to just put $20 into it. She's so pretty. She looks like Belle. Ooh, I wonder if these were out of the Disney characters. That would be really cool. But yeah, you just want to make sure that you're ready for the future. You are ready for anything that comes. You have the armor. You have the Sith laser. What is that? You have the Sith lightsaber. You are ready for anything. Okay, studio. Now, I am not going to put anything in for that, but I would love to have a studio at one point in my life. That would be great. Clothes. I need another winter jacket. I haven't gotten one yet, and it's going to be freezing in New York. So yeah, we're going to put a little bit of money in this. We'll put $10 into this for now. I did see a really nice Zara one, and I also saw, I think it was Uniqlo. I'm not sure, but I think $100 should cover it. So hopefully before it gets really, really cold out, we can get that. Yoga. I love yoga. I love taking yoga classes. Again, not putting any money into this. I can just do this at home. I have a really nice mat. So stay tuned for this one, but it's not on the cards right now. So shoes, I'm sure at one point I will need shoes. I do need sneakers, but for right now, we're not going to spend any money on that one. Hygiene, definitely. We are going to buy some toothpaste, buy some shampoo and conditioner. I really wanted to buy an air purifier because that kind of goes along with health and hygiene, but we will see if we can do that. So I have $30 left over, and we're going to do a savings challenge. The savings challenge is going to go into the Roth IRA. If I haven't maxed it out by the end of the year, it's going to go straight into the Roth IRA, and it is going to go straight into the studio if I have maxed out the Roth IRA. So for the envelope challenge, I'm trying to put in how much money we have left over. We're going to put number 1 in here, and it's just going to be $30. So by the end of the year, we'll see how much that we have accumulated and see if we can use that for our Roth or for our studio. But it's just like a fun little challenge that I wanted to bring back. I did have another challenge for student loans, but I paid those off. So now we're just going to go into our Roth. What are your goals? What are you trying to do with all of your paychecks? Done with the $700 that went by so quick, guys. Whew. I hope going from 2023 to 2024 is an amazing year for you, wishing you all of the health and wellness that is possible. I love each and every one of you. Bye.